Hello my soul family, welcome to today's spirituality retreat for this new one in Libra in October of 2021. My name is Christy Ramirez and I am your health and wellness expert. If you're new to this event, this is an event that I host twice a month for free. It's like my charity work, and it's just where we gather together to heal, because it's always very important to stop amidst whatever responsibilities or goals that you're working on in your life to give yourself time for your spiritual alignment, body, mind, and soul, because if not, life is going to get the best of us, is gonna drain us. So we need to stay centered, stay grounded, and be receptive to the Sambo healing frequency that cleanses our aura. That is why I always do those sessions as a part of these events. So the way that this event goes is I begin with a spiritual talk where we talk about the energies, what I'm getting intuitively. I also bring in some oracle cards to give us extra messages, going deep into the energies, because we really want to understand what's happening at an energetic level, which will affect our day-to-day life, trust me. And our vibration and just the way that we feel. And then we get into the Sambo healing session so that we can heal, knowing exactly what it is that we need to heal. And so what I'm feeling with this new moon in Libra, Libra is all about balancing the scales in our life, maybe also externally when it comes to relationships, because Libra does rule relationships. And this could be with family relationships, it could be with business relationships, and it can also be romantic relationships. But above all, it is our relationship with God and our higher self. So at least for me per se, I'm not in a romantic relationship. So how does this apply to me? Like in my life, for example, I feel like this is really, perhaps healing family relationships. But if that's already healed, then this is only bringing you closer to God at this time. I am feeling more connected than ever to God. And if you're on the same, wavelength as me, or maybe you've been doing a lot of healing work and most aspects of your life are pretty much already in balance, then this is a time of actually going within for you and doing more reflection. Perhaps we're doing mission work for God, and that is fortifying our connection with Source, because the more creative that we get, the more that we channel God's work into reality, then that's us in spiritual alignment. And that is balancing the scales, because we're balancing our external life with our internal life, but also, living our life for self versus living our life for God. Now, this is a really powerful message today, which I've never really thought of it this way. And why I love to come up here, because I always feel like there's just more understanding of what is it that I'm feeling as we approach these spirituality retreats. It's been really, really difficult, to be honest, when it comes even to energy levels, because I feel like there's been so much purification and cleansing happening since the month of September that we did begin, and I mentioned that, but also since we began October. It's like those final remnants. And I do feel that when we approach the next full moon, it's going to be a completely different energy. And thank God, because this energy has been very difficult. It's like survival kind of energy. It's like waking up, and you love to wake up to a beautiful day and you have the intention of being very energetic, but just somehow something's bringing you down, and it's just that your energy is low. And I don't feel like this is necessarily something personal, but this is more collective that's happening, and it's only coming up for healing, because whenever you feel more low, what else is there to do but go within, right? Because when you are not having enough energy, let's say, to be active in other things, and even though we still have responsibilities to do, when we feel this way, at least in my case, I tend to slow down even more, because I just can't pace it up, basically. And usually when I have more than enough energy, I actually get the complete opposite, which is like an anxiety. And so it's about achieving this balance between being too rushed in our life and having this gracefulness with which we go about our life. And this teaches us mindfulness. This teaches us to literally slow down. Even if it's like, preparing your coffee. Why prepare your coffee in a rush? Why do it so quick that you miss out on this present moment? And your day might get extended because you're slowing down, but there's more beautiful memories in that day. And that's how we accumulate good memories throughout our life. And again, we're not to take our life for granted, right? That's a huge lesson that we've been learning, and I really do hope that it sticks with you all, because we don't want to go through these, negative tragedies again, like what happened in 2020, just to relearn that same lesson. And I feel like this is also what's coming up today. And it's the theme of karma, the theme of the wheel of life. I've been thinking about this. I've even personally been going into my past, so this is something that you might be doing in this reflection, and it's only to be revisited, to perhaps revisit the lesson that you learned from whatever experience you underwent. And that is what this Libra energy does teach us, because Libra does rule, the courthouse, it rules the judge. It's the Judgment Day card, right? And it's also justice, that God will bring to justice those who have been good and perhaps either have been mistreated unfairly or who have been hurt in the past. You will experience your justice, and even if that is just you living a happy life and then God blessing you, like let's say with the relationship of your dreams, with the career of your dreams, with the health state of your dreams, then God will bless you with that, because you have been good in heart. Even if you've been hurt in the past, there's no ill feelings towards anybody, because Jesus teaches us that the way to live our life is through love, not fear. And this is what we are learning in A Course in Miracles at my spiritual book club in my School of Light, which is exclusive. And it's just been very eye-opening, enlightening, and above all healing, because reaffirming this daily, everybody has been through heartbreak. Everybody has been through down moments. Everybody has experienced traumas. Whether you were a child or whether you were an adult, a teenager, everyone has experienced some sort of trauma. And there's nobody to blame, but only our reaction to that trauma. And I know that that can be triggering, but we choose how we want to live our life. Nobody exteriorly has control over that. No matter what they're doing or how they're treating you or what they're saying, because, this can also be like, perhaps people not understanding you, or just the way that you feel that you fit into the world of others, right? This 3D world. But at the end of the day, none of that matters. It's about you and God, because God sees you, your heart, your soul. He sees what's in your mind. And it's our behavior, by us still being on mission through discipline, through focus, the commitment that we set forth, we stand true to it. And even though we feel tired, we still show up. Like, perfect example here, I'm not getting anything out of this except furthering my connection with God, with all of you, and giving you also my piece of knowledge of what I'm feeling for this new moon. Because trust me that my intuition is correct. I also have been getting like 1,000 affirmations and reaffirmations and confirmations that my intuition is on point. I'm always thinking like, okay, oh, it's probably that, right? And then it gets affirmed like right away, because God is not wanting me to doubt myself, because right now in my life, I'm in a leadership position. And if you all follow me and watch my videos, then you also rely on my guidance, because it's God speaking through me. And when I make my decisions in my life, trust me that I ask God 1,000 times before I make an actual decision, before I act on it. And my intuition has been on point, because I have been making sure that I am in alignment, I have been sacred, I have been pure, and I have been just devoted to God and this mission. And whatever mission this may turn out to be, I just go where God tells me to. And this is a wonderful way to live, which maybe this is something that you are working on right now in your life. And with this Libra energy, this is a great turning point for many people. This is your time to make amends with God, because again, this is like the judge, right? You standing before the judge. Imagine that this was your last day on earth, okay? And literally you were standing before God. What would you want God to tell you, and how would you want to be seen before God's eyes? Do you want him to be proud of you? Or do you want him to be, I don't want to say ashamed because God is never ashamed of us, but do you want him to just be disappointed because of perhaps you rebelled against this mission, or you didn't do as you were told, or you just still decided not to listen to these intuitive nudges that you were receiving from God? And you know when it's God speaking to you and when it's not. So there's never an excuse to tell, because I know that there's a lot of people that are very stuck in the 3D world and they don't want to give up those 3D pleasures. And I'm here to tell you that when you are on God's side, you're not going to have to give that up exactly, right? As long as it's in alignment with God. And in fact, it's only going to get better, because anything sacred is just 1,000 times better than anything that's not, right? And you don't want to stay in the dark. You want to be in the light. And that's a very powerful message, because this is like a second chance that God is giving you today. But don't waste it, because it's not going to come around again. You know, God is not to be a doormat, and he's not to be taken for granted or made fun of. So definitely, you know, take God seriously, respect God, and honor him by showing him through your actions, through your decisions, through what you choose to portray as your truth. Not hide your spiritual truth, because this is again not also about being a light worker in the shadows or in secret, and then just keeping your gifts to yourself because you're afraid of what others might think. You know, this goes back to history. The fear of persecution, the fear of being different, the fear of being cast out. But you know what? That's no more, because we're living in the modern era, first of all. And second of all, we are transitioning into this new earth, which is this golden era coming. So in fact, this is now needed more than ever for you to actually come out with your spiritual gifts, come out with your spiritual truth. God will reward you for that, and you will be recognized for it as a warrior of light, as part of this army of God, because an army is proudly an army of God, right? Anyone in the army or in the military of God, or in an actual military, they don't do that in secret and just, you know, go about like a spy and a secret agent, right? And just be like, okay, I'm not in the army, I'm not proud to be in the army, but yet I'm in the army and doing all the work, right? Because being in the army is no easy task. So it's about being proud of this identity and this badge that we've been given by God as a spiritual warrior, and knowing that God will congratulate you for that, and he will protect you as well if that's something that you're fearing from people who are not in the light. But you know what? You're always safe and protected. You are shielded, literally. So nothing can touch you, especially when you are very much in this mission work already, right? Because you're needed. So you're like God's right hand. So of course, Archangel Michael again is also with us, because he is the champion of the heavenly angels, and he is the one that does foresee any spiritual battles happening behind the scenes. And Archangel Michael will fight those battles for us. We don't need to do a thing. We don't need to lift a finger. We literally can just sit on this couch and have fun conversations about the spiritual journey, but we don't actually have to fight it. That's up to our angels. That's why we learn about our angels in my School of Light. That's why we leave it up to God, who is the most powerful source of all. Divine intervention is the most powerful force ever. Trust in that, and trust in these miracles that are really coming up with this harvest season that we are in of October. And this is just the beginning of it, okay? We're in the beginning cycle, moon cycle of October. So you can expect that by the next full moon cycle in October, there's going to be a lot of blessings coming our way. So it's very important for us to stay open-hearted. This is where the healing comes in. So you should have been doing the healing already since September. And there's a lot of purging that's been happening. But I feel like for me, for example, I don't feel like any purging is happening anymore. If anything, it's just like those final things. But really, I'm really feeling a more happy vibration ever since October began. And you know, it is because it's fall season, bringing in this coziness as well, that we are in the angel wings of our angels, and we are in the arms of God. So very beautiful energy I'm feeling. You know, I've been really feeling cozied up by spending more time in my School of Light as well, spending more time with all of you, my soul family, and really making the effort to show up. Because to be honest, you know, all of September I was dealing with a lot of energetic, you know, difficulty. Like I was just struggling with energy, and I needed to take a step back. So for me, it was my self-care vacation that God prescribed me to take. and just work on myself. And that's what I did. And I come back now in fall feeling better than ever. But I still feel like there's just some healing. I feel like there's just more potential to feel even better. Because why not continue to work on our health and wellness, right? Health is wealth. And there's just so much potential to feel our best. So never stop working on your health and wellness. And this is again where my health and wellness brand comes in, body, mind, and spirit. It's about learning about the spiritual journey, staying disciplined with our spiritual practice, which is meditation, yoga, eating healthy, holistic nutrition foods on a daily basis, and making sure that we're doing this sample healing session to heal our frequency. Because this is something that not even yoga and meditation can necessarily do. Although it does on a daily basis maintain it. But we need to do deep cleaning basically, right? Twice a month. That's what the sample healing session is for, as a metaphor, right? We do daily cleaning, but then we need that deep cleaning twice a month. That's why we do that. All right, so let me bring out some cards for all of you, and let's just some deeper introspection. I want to look into what chakras are being worked on at this time, sacred geometry as well, activations, light codes that we're receiving, especially if you're spending a lot of time in solitude. Trust that those are the moments when you receive the most revelations, ideas. You know, it's been non-stop creative work for me, to be honest. I'm working on a new angel oracle deck, and then also just other creative projects, a lot behind the scenes that I've been working on. And you know, it's a fun time for sure, but definitely take it easy. You know, make sure that you get enough rest and take it slow, right, between activities, because we need to be fully recharged to give it our best, right? We don't want to do things halfway through. We want to do things with quality. So that's a wonderful message to begin today. So I am going to bring out here, let's begin with some Reiki. I feel like we really do need some Reiki healing today. And look, I think that the first card right here is truly the message, is enlightenment. And this actually reminds me of like nirvana. And it's like this ultimate feeling of being high, I guess, on life. But that's like when you reach like this true soul potential of like being detached from the physical realm, which again is the illusion. It's a matrix. You know, I think it's very interesting that the Matrix 4 came out. I definitely want to watch that movie. It's on my movie list, and it's going to teach you a lot about this dynamic of 3D versus 5D dimensions and what this new earth really is all about. You know, why, you know, people stuck still in the 3D is kind of sad, because they're literally wasting their life. That's not what it's about, right? It's about the afterlife. And you know, the ancient Egyptians were very wise when it came to this. You know, I always do a lot of research about the ancient Egyptian tradition and lifestyle, because I really resonate with that time. And I do feel like I do have ancient Egyptian ancestral lineage connection. And they used to dedicate their whole living life to just the afterlife. You can see this all over the hieroglyphics. That's all they worried about. They spent all their fortune on just setting up their grave. But back then it wasn't a grave. It was like literally like a room down in the under the sands. And it had like so much gold, like just so much symbolism all over. And they would rather spend their fortune on that than their actual house that they were living on when they were awake, living in the world, right? So this just comes to tell you that they were onto something. You know, it was about the afterlife, not necessarily about this life. This life is the school, it's the lesson, it's the test. And you must pass this test if you want to live a good afterlife, right? If you want your soul to be in peace, if you want your soul to be free. So definitely think about this today, because again, this is what Libra does bring up. It is bringing up this courthouse energy, and God is the judge of this courthouse, the heavenly courthouse, the heavenly kingdom. So beautiful. Wow, this is just so beautiful today. No matter how much of your life you decide you dedicate to spirituality, you'll probably still need to work in some manner to feed yourself, clothe yourself, keep yourself warm, and live comfortably. So again, this is where this balance energy comes in. The balancing of the scales of Libra energy. Even though you are living the spiritual journey, you still need to live this life as well, right? It's not about being all in the spirituality and then also not all about being just in the 3D world. You need an equal balance of each. You know, maybe some weeks you're going to be more dedicated to your spiritual journey, hence being more within. Maybe some weeks you're going to be more social and want to be more out there with the actual people in the 3D world, and that's okay, as long as you have balance and don't forget about either of them, right? So there is an old Zen Buddhist saying that says, before enlightenment, chop wood, carry water, and then after enlightenment, chop wood and carry water. And this is exactly what Jesus did in his living life. He was the regular carpenter. He built things, and yet he was the Messiah. He was the ultimate enlightened being walking this earth, healing others miraculously through his words, through his touch, through his very aura. And you know, Jesus is coming up strong. It's been coming up a lot ever since obviously I began my business, because the first book that I ever began my spiritual book club with was A Course in Miracles, and that book really touched me, and it's been teaching me a lot about how to be more like Jesus in this life, right? And then we got to get spiritually fit in reverse. So I feel like this is what's needed during these times. Maybe work more on your health and wellness, literally, to feel better, more longevity, vitality. We all want to have clarity, inner strength, and a sense of purpose in our lives. But like physical fitness, it can take effort and ongoing commitment. So don't quit even though it gets difficult, but just push even harder, because I promise you that on the other side, it's going to feel better than ever. And it's going to be easier once you're there on the other side, right? Getting spiritually fit, the beginning stages of even learning about the spiritual journey are the most difficult ones. Like for me, it's about like 2 to 3 years max, you can say. But then after, it's just like maintenance. And it's very easy to always stay in spiritual alignment. So getting spiritually fit means living authentically, being true to yourself in everything you do in your work, relationships, and leisure time, and making life choices from a place of courage, love, and trust, instead of from fear, which is really about living the Reiki way is all about. And that's a beautiful way to, you know. And then maybe one more. Focus on the energies within you. You know, this positive chi that we are talking about and that we all want to experience, if you're feeling low energy, this is because your chi is either drained and needs rechargement, or perhaps it's just about bringing in more positivity in your life, keeping your thoughts positive, or maybe checking the energies around you, how they're affecting the energies within you. You know, trust that if you're a light worker on this journey, you are an empath, which means that you're very sensitive to energies. And it's why most empaths need a lot of alone time to recharge their own energy and make sure that what they're feeling is within them and not externally, that they're not absorbing other people's vibrations, you see. And when you learn how to shield yourself enough, when you're spiritually fit, basically, you can be amongst others like Jesus was and still be in your own aura. And that's our goal, right? Is to be able to live amongst the world and yet still be shielded and not touched by other people's vibration. And because remember, you know, for example, me as a counselor and as a therapist, I need to see other people who are not in their highest vibration, right? That's the whole point of seeking out a therapist and a counselor. But it doesn't mean that I'm going to let their energies be absorbed by myself, because that would do both of us harm, you see. Because now who's going to help, right? So the helper, the light worker, the healer needs to make sure that you are first healed yourself, that you are strong, spiritually fit, literally, and always staying positive no matter what, because you are the rock to others. People need us, so we need to be in our best self, okay? So life force energy, which is chi, flows within the physical body through energy centers called chakras and pathways called meridians. And this is what we actually learn in my Science of Yoga educational course that you can purchase. And you know, you can also check out my yoga therapy program, which is based on those principles. But chakras and meridians are truly real, and even though they're not physically seen by the naked eye, they're seen by the spiritual eye. And this is what we work on when we do yoga and meditation, is always keeping our chakras and meridians in alignment, open, activated, and balanced, healed, as well as flowing around the body in a field of energy called the aura. This energy field responds to everything that we think, say, feel, and experience. And it becomes disrupted or blocked whenever we consciously or unconsciously accept and absorb any negative words, thoughts, feelings, or experiences. So allowing Reiki to flow into us helps to unblock and disperse any negative energies. So give this healing energy today to yourself and let yourself release anything that is not serving you, that is not of high vibration. You can choose what emotions that you want to feel. Emotions are not caused by outer events or other people. They are an internal reaction to an external event. They represent a choice that you have made, and we choose what emotion to feel, always. So keep that in mind. Very powerful way to begin. Now let's get our chakra cards. Something for healing. Personal affirmations for aligned wellness. You might want to read into the book today. Why not? All right, these are some beautiful chakra cards that I have. And I love this one because it also includes the soul star chakra, which is about our connection to our true higher self within. And we got, wow, the sacral chakra, very unexpected here, but it's kind of like the October color, right? We are in autumn. So I was kind of feeling the orangey color, and interesting, you know, this is bringing up unbridled passion. It could be passion for this new love connection coming into our lives. It could be passion for our creative projects, for what we love to do, birthing new things. Maybe there's changes in direction in our life that maybe is bringing us towards what we're more passionate about. Are you living in passion right now is the question. And if you're not, bring in more passion into what you do. Maybe you are passionate about what you do, but maybe you just need to bring in just more passion. And this is all mental, all right? It comes from our heart. When you do things with love, everything will come out beautiful, okay? You are passion incarnate. Your seductive and sensual energy weaves your relationships with intensity, reconnecting you with the ecstasy of creation, both within and without. Your soul is nourished by your desires, allowing you to manifest your deepest and truest intentions with enthusiasm. Let this wild, sexy energy flow freely from you. It is one of your soul gifts, so cultivate it accordingly. So you can definitely work with the herb licorice and the crystal Shiva Lingam, which actually reminds me of the yin and the yang, the masculine and the feminine within us, as well as our divine counterpart. So this is definitely coming up. This is very good energy because, you know, who doesn't want love, right? And passion within that love connection. And again, what I mentioned earlier, doing all things with grace is what's going to help us to live in the moment and even attract more of this passion, sacral energy. Remember also that sexual energy is creative energy. So make sure that if you are, you know, in a passionate relationship, it is of sacredness, because if not, you're giving away your creative energy. So you want to make sure that basically it's your divine counterpart, which is only one person in this life. So just kind of a reminder that choose where you choose to give your energy wisely, because it will affect everything else in your life, your mission work, the way that you feel, etc. All right, so we got the message of grace, and there's the number 5 and 3. I was guided to look at these numbers here, but you know, the number 14 is about all the chakras. I actually have been working on this book that is not yet ready, but I do bring in up all the 14 chakras, because there's more than just the 7 main chakras. There's in-betweens, and that's what I teach in that book. So I'm working on that. It's probably be ready by next year, 2022, but perhaps a guidance for me to, you know, continue to work on that book for sure. And then we get the number 5 and 3, which equals 8, infinite potential. It's about change, to be more in spiritual alignment. So maybe we're being guided to make changes in our life, only to bring us more in alignment, to bring more balance, okay? So maybe it could also, I'm getting like, it could be a shift in your routine, in your scheduling, maybe to, again, help you to slow down and bring in more grace in what you're doing on a day-to-day basis. We want to have the perfect routine, right? Where every day we're looking forward to that day. Every day is a gift, and treat it as such. So it doesn't matter what day of the week it is, whether it's Monday or whether it's Saturday, every day should feel like an amazing, heavenly, angelic day, okay? So grace is your divine birthright. Grace is the gift of the divine to relieve you of suffering and bondage. And we do this by just surrendering to inner peace. Nothing can disturb that peace if you just give up any suffering, so that you can move fluidly and easily through all of life's chapters in peace. Let go of all struggles now, dear one, and rest in grace. Focus your attention and intention on the many ways in which you are loved and held by a benevolent creative force, which is God. Stop pushing the river. Let it flow through you in miraculous and mysterious ways. And this is the soul star chakra that we're all connecting to, which is the highest one of all. You can connect with the crystal rainbow moonstone and the herb divana to help with this healing here. Alright, so perhaps we don't need to really look in the book. Let's see. Yeah, let's read this actually. Bring in my coffee. All right. Oh, interesting that I turned to the 54 card. All right. So this grace card is also representing beauty and patience. So this is very important because we do need to have patience. You know, I did a live video about, I want to say like almost 2 to 3 weeks ago in my soul coaching page about this just being the beginning of the long journey ahead. So there's a lot of patience required. This is literally the first chapter. So what's the rush? Enjoy the moment, because this exact moment will never repeat itself. And it might be similar, but it's going to be a completely different energy. So you want to make sure that you are enjoying the process. Don't take it for granted, whether or not you're with somebody by your side or alone. When your soul star chakra is activated, it heralds the development of your intuitive abilities. You will be shown new ways of thinking along with new approaches to life. It's important to listen to the messages that come to you from above, reminding you of your own inherent grace and beauty. Grace is the gift of Source, the ability to move fluidly knowing that you are held and loved in every moment. When you deepen your connection to your spirit guides, you acknowledge and accept the reality surrounding you with clarity. This greater vision offers a supportive boost, aiding you as you seek solutions to overcome hardships. With patience, grace, and faith, you can bring order to your inner chaos, releasing any negative thoughts and anything holding you back from your truest self. When you deepen your connection to your spirit guides, you acknowledge and accept the reality surrounding you with clarity. And this greater vision offers a supportive boost, aiding you as you seek solutions to overcome hardships. With patience, grace, and faith, you can bring order to your inner chaos, releasing negative thoughts and anything holding you back from your truest self. And when you move through life with grace, you allow miraculous blessings to move through you with ease. Invoke white healing energies, wisdom, freedom of expression, and graceful feminine energy to your mind, body, and spirit. Grace is your divine birthright. Claim it and you will be released from any burden that you may carry. And I do want to bring in the next message. So ask yourself today, do you accept the reality surrounding you with grace and patience? How do you express your divine feminine energy? And when you think of grace, what images and symbols come to mind? Which energies or deities that represent grace can you call upon in meditation to support, nurture, and comfort you now? And the next one that came up is personal frequency, because I feel like I did kind of bring this up as we were talking about our Sambo healing sessions. We need to keep our vibration high, okay? Whatever it takes to do that, but it's what's going to keep us in alignment as well. And it's going to keep us happily of service, right? We don't want to be being of service like it's like something that is like a burden, right? Because our mission should be fun, and God would never give you something that you don't love to do. So trust in this. This is again about enlightenment, which was the first card that we got. awakening and understanding. There's a lot of understandings that we are putting the puzzle pieces together right now, and we are awakening to truths during this silent time, during this in-between time as well, between the new moon and the full moon. I feel like it is kind of like a pause these first 2 weeks of October, for that when we begin the mid of October, it's going to be a completely new energy, more high energy, and just more strength and power as well within ourselves to do things, to show up, to be of light amongst others, right? Because we can still be of light, but sharing the light also takes effort. So it's gonna feel more effortless, which is what we all want, right? And what God would want, because He needs more people to show up. All right. Raising your personal frequency is the only way to strengthen relationships in the spirit realm. Those beings of light cannot lower themselves to human frequencies. So the work of connecting is largely up to us, and we must make the request. You are being invited and encouraged to take this step now and build a stronger frequency to support your health and well-being. Work with clear quartz and high frequency essential oils and herbs to support you. Smudge each day to clear residual energies around you that are not aligned to the higher frequency that you seek to establish. Become more conscious and aware of your thoughts and communication patterns, for their impact on your frequency is immense. Enjoy the rewards of a higher personal frequency, which is the gift of the soul star chakra. This cosmic gateway is a wide channel of divine light, and by accessing it, you slip into a new level of conscious ascension. Events that you seek and desire unfold with ease as you come into full alignment with the universe's desired mission for your life. Perfect message. So what steps are you taking now to assess and raise your personal frequency? Do you share the love and beauty that you generate with the world? And in what ways do you consciously transmit your personal frequency to others? Are you aware of your personal healing and light codes? Wonderful message. Alright, so now I'm going to bring in some sacred geometry cards to see what's being activated, what light codes we're receiving. I do feel like, energy levels are just going up and down. It's like a roller coaster in a way. And we just need to go with the flow with this, I guess. There's just no other way, right? So we have the third eye chakra on the bottom here, which I do feel is being activated, supporting our intuition. And this is again what a mindful meditation program is about, helping you to sharpen your intuition. And it really has done that for me because I trust my intuition now more than ever. And remember that sometimes the first, messages that you get, it's kind of like first appearances, or first, that when you meet someone and it's like your first impressions are always correct, because that is your intuition coming automatically, right? So trust in this, your inner knowing, your imagination, and your psychic powers. Powerful. And then we got the realization. Yeah, this is about staying centered. The frequency of realization, and there's a lot of chakra, sacral chakra energy too. And even a little bit of heart and higher heart with the teal energy, which is helping us to be more compassionate towards all beings on this planet. Supports the internal process of becoming aware of our heart-centered truth, as well as the external process of becoming our highest expression in this world. And number 37 card. Maybe this is something that you realized when you were, maybe you're 37, or maybe when you're gonna be 37, or maybe 37 is a specific number for you somehow. 3 plus 7 is also 10, which is about completions, bringing us to prosperity, right? Number 36. The frequency, maybe this is still in progress. 3 plus 6 is 9, which is, still completing cycles in order to begin the new beginning, which is the 10 energy. We are completing something here to begin something new. And the frequency of prosperity, and it will bring us prosperity. when it's what we are meant to be with, right? When it's in our destiny. So the frequency of prosperity supports our feeling of well-being by allowing the inclusion of everything that makes our body, mind, heart, soul, and spirit sing. It invites us to express ourselves in joy and celebration of the abundance and riches that the universe provides. And I do feel like this is coming up for the full moon, because full moons are about celebrations. It is about the completion. So maybe, again, just having compassion for where you're at right now in this healing that's taking place. And even this frequency of compassion also supports our ability to stand by others without judgment, which is also what Libra represents. Not judging others, because that's not up to us, that's up to God. And be the divine mediator between heaven and earth by just showing up to the mission, being the messenger of God, spirit and matter, so that unconditional love can flow from source through our heart and into the world. Beautiful messages from these cards today. So I will be right back. Alright, my soul family, so let's continue with more. I really do want to bring in more ancient wisdom, ancestral guidance. So we are going to begin with our woman's bodies, woman's wisdom cards. These are such artistic cards. It's why I love reading cards. It's more from the artwork that it really catches my eye. You know, look at all these beautiful just art. It's so artistic, and it gives us messages, and every time the messages are different because it's just what you interpret at that time. And so, you know, this is also perhaps about changing even our perspective during these times about certain aspects in our life. Always seeing outside the box, right? Especially if you're trying to solve some kind of, you know, maybe just solve something in your life. We have fertility and creativity, and I'm getting, you know, this is a heart with, it's like a heart time. It's like a heart clock. So that's very interesting, because this is about, there's a lot of time here. Like as if time is running out. Maybe for fertility, you know, creativity. Don't slack off on your projects that you're being guided to give birth to. And just have compassion to where you're at. But definitely don't procrastinate, okay? And we got the enlightened mind and heart, channel clarity. Yeah, this is about giving birth to projects, to creativity, any artwork. Now is the time, because you know what? We are more enlightened than ever, because we are cleansed. We're channeling very clearly at this moment. So this is the moment to do it. Oh wow, and I never noticed, I never got this card before. And this is an owl on top of her, and I have an owl exactly like this in my room. And it says, listen, enjoy, wish, love. Wow, this is such a beautiful card. It's like she's writing something here, like it's writing her thoughts in a journal, in a book. And it's because this owl of wisdom is whispering all the answers into her ear, and she's being enlightened with some creative work that is very powerful. So this is really great energy today. Let's get into the booklets. Number 8 and number 6. Now, okay, let's learn a little bit about this fertility and creativity. Okay, whether you are male or female, it doesn't matter, because masculine energies also give birth to new things in their life. You are both creative, you are born both creative and fertile. Although we often think of fertility only in biological terms, our fertility is also the measure of our willingness to plant and tend seeds of growth and potential both within and outside of ourselves. So the creative process is the same, whether one is pregnant with a child or pregnant with an idea, you see. And we go through labor, birth, and a postpartum period, regardless of what we create. So perhaps if you've just given birth to something, maybe you might be feeling similar symptoms as if like you had given birth to like a baby or something. And then, you know, after we've given birth to it, put some time and energy into actually, you know, giving birth to it, right? Setting up all the beginning foundations of that project or idea, it is taxing. So meaning it takes up a lot of our energy. What does the postpartum period represent? It's kind of like a depression that mothers go through. because they're so tired and just drained from having just given birth. So they need to take a lot of rest and recovery during that time to be able to come back stronger, right? And then be able to raise the child, because who's going to raise the child, right? It has to be the mother. So also the father, but for the mother, it's just a different role, right? And she still has to breastfeed the child. So it's a lot that goes on for the mother. And if we bring in this metaphor, this is how it is with anything new that you've given birth to. Maybe it's a business, maybe it's an idea that will soon become a business, maybe it's just the beginning seeds of it. Maybe it's a new relationship even. You know, that can be taxing as well in the beginning, because you get all that high, and then you guys kind of need to relax into the relationship, settle in together, right? Like, just make it more like also practical, right? It needs to be beautiful and passionate, but you also need to make it work for the long haul, which is the commitment portion of it. And that's again where, you know, couples therapy comes in and all that things. You know, you can have it all, but you need to make sure that there's all the four main components to that relationship, which is intimacy, vulnerability, and the friendship aspect. There's the commitment, there's the passion, and I feel like those are the three, right? It's like the intimacy, the friendship, the vulnerability, the passion, chemistry, and then the actual commitment, the union, right? The devotion, the loyalty. All right, so let's continue reading. Our thoughts and beliefs determine how and what we are going to create, and whether it will be positive or negative. Your health depends upon your ability to channel your creativity in positive and fulfilling ways that uplift you and others. Because usually when we are creating anything, it's not only for ourselves, it's also to help others in some way. If you find yourself choosing cards from the fertility creativity area frequently, then you'll know that this is an area of your life that needs more fertilizer and mastery. So maybe this is something that we're actually just working on mastering during these times, and that's okay. And this is the issue that's most active for you at this moment. Again, this is the beginning stages that we're in, beginning with this new Moon in Libra. Actually, no, it began with when I said it in September, but we're still in the beginning, right? It's only like the second month. The precise step that requires your attention will depend upon which of the following cards come up. So let's look at this number 6 card. Risk versus safety. So I feel like this is about being willing to take leaps of faith, not playing it too safely as well, because that's what actually can set people back, can keep people trapped in living a life that they don't love. You have to take that risk of faith, right? So, and it can also be when it comes to love. This is basically not settling. There's always going to be a risk, right, in going and choosing something that you really love, whether that's a person, whether that's a career, whether that's just what you do on a day-to-day basis, where you live. But at the end of the day, if you just settle, you're gonna stay stuck in the same place and never know what could have been, right? So don't be that person that settles and then 50 years later thinks, I wish I would have done things differently. You want to live, you want to have loved your life, right, when you're like 50, not regret what you did. So creating something new and putting it out into the world always involves taking a risk. A baby may not be perfect. Maybe you wanted a boy, maybe now it's a girl. Maybe you wanted a girl and it's a boy, you know, things like that, right? The world may not embrace your creation. Someone may criticize your work as well. Maybe this is a business or project that you're working on, especially if it's artistic. You know, artists tend to be very critical of themselves. I'm that way with myself, but you know what? I've learned not to like care what other people think and just do what's true to me. And that will always just give you fulfillment. Someone may criticize your work. You might not be a perfect parent. Gestate your creation in safety for as long as it is healthy to do so, and then release it into the world with faith. This card suggests that you refine your ability to know when to protect your creations and then when to let them go out into the world. Maybe again, we're still giving birth, so it's not safe yet. It's like, again, Osho gives this perfect advice for parents. His advice was, when your children are between the ages, until your child is like 7 to 10 years old, which I know is a long period of time, they should be more shielded than ever. He believed that they shouldn't even go to school because it's in those early years that they're more moldable and vulnerable to either, you know, being taught the right or wrong way. There's a lot of other energies around them, hence peers and other situations. And so he believed that the best moment for these children to actually become enlightened and, you know, begin to even train in meditation and yoga were those very early years. So he believed that those beginning 7 to 10 years were like they were to be protected and shielded, not thrown out into the world, but like they were held in like in secret, basically, like kind of like also the story of Mother Mary. Many people you don't know, but I've been reading this book on Mother Mary's early life and Jesus's early life. And why was Mother Mary chosen out of all the other women? Why was she the most blessed of them all? Why did God choose her to give birth to Jesus, which was his son, the Messiah? And it was because, you know, she wasn't chosen just out of nowhere and with no specific purpose. God first had to set up everything accordingly. He showed up to her parents first when she was just a young girl. And he told first the father that he was to really protect her, the Mother Mary, and she wasn't to be like other regular women or girls. She wasn't allowed to just go about out in the world like other women were. She was shielded, and a lot of the times that could have felt like a prison in a way. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was because she was being protected, and she was then the most blessed of them all because she accepted it. She could have refused and said, I don't want to do this, God. I don't want to give birth to Jesus. But she then also was revealed by Archangel Gabriel that she was going to give birth to Jesus, and she accepted it at the very early age of only 14, which is a very young age, right? But usually at that age, women are already able to give birth to children. And so that was a beginning of like the transformation of her life, when her whole world changed. And she accepted it, and her parents accepted it as well, because obviously they had no choice. But the choice was up to Mother Mary, and she did accept willingly. And then she was always a good woman, a sacred woman, devoted to the mission. So yeah, that is the message with this. So keep your new creations safe and protected. When it's time, risk letting them go. And then let's look at the enlightened heart and mind. There are many ways of knowing something. You can learn about the human body, for example, through technological scanning techniques and the classical study of anatomy. This will give you a roadmap for how to think about the body, but it will teach you nothing about how the energy of the heart actually influences and heals the body. The same is true with education. Education will ground your knowledge and give you a solid foundation upon which to build your own point of view, but it won't tell you how to live in that knowledge with your spirit and use it to create a life of joy, freedom, and growth. Make sure that your mind and your heart always work together and in service to your highest possible purpose. And if we look at the number, interesting that I came about the family purpose spread. Maybe you're being connected to your soul family during these times as well, or your actual literal family, blood family, soul family, but it's for a project to come to completion. And this channel clarity card says you will always be inspired to the highest and best use of your mind and heart by the things that move you. Pay attention to what makes you laugh and what makes you cry. These are the areas associated with your greatest gifts and talents. So if you see something that you're really inspired and moved by, then you know that that's speaking to you. Always ask the question, who and what does my intellect serve? Our bodies work best when our minds and hearts work in harmony with our highest purpose. What a beautiful message from these cards. Alright, let's get a Sacred Rebels today, and then a Heal Yourself card, and we'll end today's spiritual talk. right away. Wow, dream a beautiful dream. The world is literally at your fingertips. This is the moment. This is world-changing moments right now. And I also feel like our world is changing. Again, this new earth is being given birth to. We are transitioning into this new golden era, is what I've been channeling lately. After the storm, right? After the tragedy that we've experienced in 2020. But it's worthwhile, you know, defend to the end. Whatever darkness you're experiencing right now, it's soon to be over and be colored up, back with color in your life. So this is beautiful because maybe, you know, a lot of people are also kind of dealing with this low energy. And it's only because it's this transformation happening. So just trust that it will be soon dissipate. Let's look at the number 19. She feels and she knows. An illumination is erupting from within you as a vision that is bringing what was once obscured into clarity. And this is, again, truth coming to the light. I was going to say that earlier, but it slipped my mind. And it's perfect timing to do this. Let's read Dream a Beautiful Dream. Right, let's kind of get comfortable and let me bring my coffee here. Kind of need to boost my energy here. All right. The urge to create is the same within you as it is for the universal creator. It also has the same magical ability to draw harmony into being and to find beautiful order in chaos. This includes bringing harmony and the perfect balance of well-being into your body, mind, and emotions. This is also the part of you that wants to dream of beauty and bring it to life in as many ways as possible. In how you eat, dress, look, behave, make love, create art, relate to your community, write your poetry by the moonlight, or bathe by candlelight. So maybe you might want to take a candlelit salt bath tonight, cleanse your aura even more. If you've come to believe that your love of beauty is superficial rather than a genuine expression of your heart's appreciation of symmetry, harmony, and grace, then you may block your ability to create harmony in your life. You may believe it to be an unworthy goal. Yet beauty, genuine beauty, rather than superficial glamour, flows from within. It is an expression of radiance within the heart and a love of life. If you've struggled with the obsessive attitude towards beauty that tends to prevail in human culture, then it is time that you look to nature instead. Her beauty is boundless, quirky, and endlessly diverse. If you feel blocked, thwarted, or contaminated by others in your quest to bringing your beautiful dreams to life, you may feel that your heart is dulled, minimized, or shut down. So again, this is about cleansing your aura and not letting that get in the way of your beautiful dreams. Small-mindedness can limit beauty to a very narrow physical sense. However, you can shun the social disease of superficial narrow definitions of beauty, thumb your nose at airbrushed images, and dare to love what is. Honoring nature is one example. Give yourself permission to feel and be beautiful in many ways. You can feel harmony outside of what is supposed to be harmonious. Interesting that this harmony comes in, which Libra rules harmony, right? So if you are brave and wild enough, you can even find beauty and harmony amongst the chaos of change. Sensing that change is just the creative process kicking into gear. Realizing that there is nothing to fear brings even greater beauty, harmony, surrender, and grace to the experience of life creating itself in more stunning forms through you. You are meant to dream of beauty and to create beauty in its far more holistic and creative definition. Beauty is meant to soothe the soul, inspire thoughts of love, devotion, and appreciation, and to balance the nervous system. These are healing effects, healing for the creator and those that receive it. They are worthwhile. They're not meaningless, impractical, flippant, or trivial. A world without the beauty of art in all of its various and unique interpretations would be a less colorful, less vibrant, less cheeky, and less healing place to be. time that you spend dreaming of beauty and allowing it to be born through you in various heart-centered ways is worthwhile. So don't disregard it or discount it. The most beautiful dreams can inspire the practical, hard-working dedication required to bring them to life for the betterment of the world. So this oracle today comes with a particular message for you. There's a situation in your life right now where you feel uncertain about your ability to fix or heal. You lack the inspiration to be able to imagine it differently than how it currently seems to be. You may therefore feel inhibited in your ability to bring about constructive change. However, the perfect beauty of this situation is not revealed by what you attempt to do to it, or through trying to impose the right dream upon it. It is to be healed and perfected into all that it can be through the revelation of the beauty that already lies within it. And this happens when we accept the existence of inner harmony in all of creation, even if it cannot be consciously observed. And so by expecting there to be beauty within a situation, even if it is hidden, you will be more open to seeing the healing potential, even in your challenges. So don't attempt to force the situation or issue to take the right shape. Instead, ask it to show its beauty to you. This might apply to your body, to your relationship, to your finances, your work situation, a new creative project, or anything else. And from this place of inquiry, you will begin to grasp the creative genius of what is and unveil not only its potential beauty, but just how perfect it is for you at this time, just as it is. In opening up to the beauty within yourself and your circumstances, you also open up to change. And what we can accept can change almost easily. And it is when we resist or deny that change slows down and then suffering persists. So remember that you can overcome resistance and denial by approaching it with a curious mind, an open heart, and the healing process below. And by the way, this oracle has come to you because you have the power to be a positive influence in whatever situation holds the most meaning for you right now. And you need to know that. So let's just close our eyes right now. You know what? I'm gonna save this for actually the sambo healing, the healing process. We're gonna need that one. And then let me get the other card. Okay, let's get one Heal Yourself card, and then we're gonna begin the sambo healing. Wow, again we got the repetitive message of the sacral chakra. We got sexuality here. And again, this is about embracing our own sexuality and sensuality. And again, this is also the creative energy that's coming in. Remember, sexual energy is creative energy. And there's a snake here, which is about the Kundalini rising. This is also about the spiritual lovers, the passion bringing them together. And the more that we are creative with our mission work, the more we attract the spiritual love as well. Because remember, the spiritual lovers are here for the mission. So just keep working on the mission as the guidance, because this will bring you together. Very powerful energy. Maybe we should read, and there's Egyptian energy that's also coming in. Kind of reminds me of my Sacred Woman Healing Program, which will take place soon. Not sure quite when. But let's read about this. Sexuality is a natural part of life. Embrace and enjoy your intimate, sensual, and passionate nature. So take some time to explore your sexuality. How do you feel about yourself? Do you feel sexy, attractive, happy with your body? Or are you judging yourself too harshly? You need to let go of any old feelings of hurt, shame, or guilt in relation to your sexuality, because this will be a block when it comes to love. If you are in a relationship, then you need to bring some romance back and spice things up. And in order to make sex an incredible, fulfilling, seductive, exhilarating, and orgasmic experience, first of all, it needs to be true love, and you need to let go of your defenses and fears of being intimate with your partner. Relinquish control and dive into unguarded, ecstatic, blissful passion. Be creative, communicate with your lover, and find new and exciting ways to thrill each other. So, you need to love your body. Stand in front of the mirror, naked, and discover what is beautiful about your physical appearance. Place your hands on your sacral center, put on some sexy music, and move in a sensual, creative, uninhibited way. Do this for the next 2 weeks. And interesting that the full moon is coming up in the next 2 weeks. If you're in a relationship, make a romantic date with your partner that will include some love and passion. Start with a sensual or erotic massage and take it further. Ask each other what will give you pleasure and be willing to be creative and try new things. And if you are game, explore the power of divine feminine and divine masculine polarities within you as well. Beautiful energy. This is kind of like healing for spiritual love in a way. All right, so now that we have concluded our spiritual talk, I'm going to bring out my Sambo healing, and we're going to get started with our healing session. Thank you all for joining me today. I'll see you all for the full moon. Namaste. Hello my soul family, welcome to our Sambo healing session for this new moon in Libra today. My name is Christy Ramirez and I'm your health and wellness expert. So today, let's begin by closing our eyes, refreshing and grounding and centering ourselves in this energy. Heal itself. Trust in the healing that's taking place and believe in these miracles. Okay, so I'm going to bring in some healing guidance for today. Close your eyes. Imagine, visualize, or perceive a softly, slowly glowing, radiant golden light within your head. It expands outwards in all directions without losing its radiance or power, like a gold halo above your crown chakra. Everything it touches, it casts into graceful, beautiful harmony, including your mind. So be with this light, be at peace and let it happen. When you are ready, open your eyes and say the following. The perfect harmony of beauty awakens within me and all around me. I serve that golden light in unconditional love and creative power. So we are receiving today creative power, spiritual strength to make our mission happen. Surrender. Cleanse your mind. get enough play. Once again, this is what life is about, being more like children, returning to this innocence, being more lighthearted. Take life seriously, but just not too seriously, or at least with a smile on your face, and learning when to take a step back, to relax, breathe, and just be. Listen to your body, trust how it's feeling and what its guidance is for you today. Maybe all you need is some yoga or a meditation session after a long day of work. Maybe you need more sleep. Whatever it is, listen to your body, because your body is intelligent, it's a genius, and it will miraculously heal itself. Its cells will repair itself, giving you this newfound vitality and a sense of rebirth. Beautiful energy. So that's it for today's Sunbow healing session. Thank you all for joining me, and I will see you all for the next full moon. My name is Christy Ramirez, and I'm your health and wellness expert. Thank you for joining me here today. Namaste.